My name's Claude. I actually grew up in Scotland, born in Scotland, born in Edinburgh many years ago. Went to university as an electrical engineer in Glasgow, and on graduating from university, a lot of what we were trying to do as engineers is trying to get into innovation, something new, something exciting. So in Scotland in those days, there wasn't a lot of high-tech industry. A lot of it was coal, steel, manufacturing, and so I ended up moving down to London and going to an organization, an aerospace organization that designed computer control systems for the Chinook helicopters. It was really fun. It was a combination of hardware and software, very regulated because of the military, but a lot of fun. And after a couple of years, I always wanted to live in Canada, so I packed up my bags, went to Canada on vacation, found a job, and faxed back my resignation to my company in the UK, and emigrated to Canada. And so I worked for a small company that was designing paper machine control systems, and we went from a very small, unknown entity to like the #1 in that particular market segment within about a 2-year period. And so it was a lot of fun, a lot of innovation, a lot of traveling around, talking to the new customers, learning the business. And during that, immediately after that, we got bought out by an American company based out of Cupertino. They were one of the original not founding companies, but one of the early companies in Cupertino in Silicon Valley, just down off Stevens Creek. And they were doing a lot of new sensor development in the field of paper making, and they wanted me to run their programs, or some of their programs. And so we moved down from Vancouver to the US, to the Bay Area, and it was just exciting to be in the area with a whole bunch of people from many different walks of life, innovating products that were very specific to a particular industry, but very unique and very in a very challenging environment. It was great. So we did that for a couple of years. It was a lot of fun, and the parent company actually got bought out by Honeywell. And Honeywell decided to consolidate their operations in Phoenix and actually Vancouver, where we'd just come from in Canada. And my parent company offered me, inquired whether I'd want to move back to Canada. And I said, no, I actually really enjoy the US. I find that the Silicon Valley has so much innovation, so much commitment to new technologies, to trying to make products that are really affecting society as a whole, that I said, no thank you, I'm going to stay in the US. Even though we don't know that many people in the US, there is much more opportunity for exciting new development, engineering, whatever, that we decided to stay. So to me, why I like the US, why I like being in the Bay Area is that sense of everybody's got a common goal of taking technology and finding just a really stunning use for it. Using it in new applications to better our own environment, better our community, and that to me is one of the key things of why I'd want to stay in this area. It's really fascinating. So we've been in Redwood City probably for 10 years now. We chose Redwood City because of the sense of community. The company I worked for, as I said, was in Cupertino, but everybody was saying, go live in Campbell, go live in San Jose. And when we toured around, they didn't have that sense of close-knit community. But when we came up to Redwood City, it was much more friendly, it was much more real, and less of the distancing that traditionally we were told of the US. So we found it much more, I found it much more like a community like the UK, and much more like Canada, and so we decided to stay in Redwood City.